Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next movie review. And today we'll be talking about from the film from 1985. Stars a pretty good decent cast, and that is of the 1985 film Mask, which stars famous singer Cher, and you got Sam Elliott in there. Always great to see Sam Elliott, and he got Eric Stoltz as Roy, or Rocky Dennis. Now, Mask from 1985. It's based on the true story about Rusty, played by Cher, the real life Rusty, who her son Rocky, who was born with this what's it called, cranial dysplasia, if I mispronounced the scientific term though, but basically, I don't know if you can see right there though, but the real life Rocky, he was born, basically it made him born with a deformed face. Basically he has his face is deformed, and at times like now of course the thing is that when it comes to films that are based on true stories, or say inspired by true stories, it comes to say that how true are these stories. I mean, a lot of times when they do films that are based on true stories or inspired by true stories, they always like stretch the truth, or a lot of times deviate from the truth, from stuff like this though. But it does seem pretty much very solid, what the true story is, because it is true about the real life Rocky, who had this defective face and then died in real life. Yes, of course, that much is true though, right? So, but overall, despite how much of it is true and how much of it is not, though, that's a problem when they do these biographical movies that are based on real life stuff. I mean, just how true is it? I mean, if you're not gonna give the full details of what happened in real life, though, and part of me is like, why do you make the movies in the first place? When they just deviate. Like I said, most times they do or they don't. But it depends if you like the film or not, though. That's what matters, right? But overall, yeah, I liked Mask, and this is one of the films that my mom really enjoys, because she likes both Cher and especially Sam Elliott. And I would agree, I mean, yeah, Cher, great singer, and of course it's always as an actress as well. I mean, I like her. It was a thriller film called Suspect with Liam Neeson and Dennis Quaid. She was good in that. She's a decent actress though. But Sam Elliott, always great to see Sam Elliott. It's always a joy to see him on the screen. He never once gives a bad performance, even when he stars in bad films like Frogs, right? That horror film he starred from way back then. I mean, yeah, it's a bad movie though, but Sam Elliott, he's having fun in that role. I mean, he never gives a bad performance no matter what movie he stars in, even though a couple of bad films he was starring in, though, but sometimes he's not good enough to save the movie, though. But it's always great to see Sam Elliott, because he has that very, he's one of those actors has that unique voice, and a lot of times he always has the times he's actors who could pull off having that mustache or the mullet. I mean, I always like Sam Elliott. He's just a great actor, and he's been a good starring in other films, like down there, if you can see between the posters though, but down there in that corner there, whether it be in Tombstone and or his fun role in Ghost Rider, and back when he was much more younger, was that film called Lifeguard, where he played a lifeguard who was much more younger. or in Ang Lee's Hulk, which I find that underrated. I'm one of the very few people that likes the 2003 Hulk film directed by Ang Lee. I know. I'm one of the very few people that likes that movie. When he played General Ross, which later on, that character will be later played by the late William Hurt, though. And then later, it'll be played by Harrison Ford. Before that, it was Sam Elliott first. But Sam Elliott, who always gives that good presence and performance he always gives, Or Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse, I liked him in Roadhouse. Too bad that he died, though. It was Tails. But it's always great to see Sam Elliott, regardless. Eric Stoltz, who played Rocky, I think he also did a good job as well. Of course, he would later star in films like, of course, he was the role in Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction. When John Travolta brings Uma Thurman in, thinks she's dead, give her a shot, to stab her to get her think she's dead, or give her a shot or something to stab her in the chest, thinking that'll wake her up. Though, when he was in the middle of watching the Three Stooges, he was also in Anaconda and. He's been among other stuff, though, but Eric Stoltz, I thought he did a really good job, though, as Rocky Dennis. And, of course, you got some other recognizable cast members. You got Laura Dern in an early role, where she's the love interest of Rocky, where she's blind. Other characters that actors you recognize, Richard Dihurst, who plays Cher's father in this. I remember him from starring in John Carpenter, my all-time favorite horror film, John Carpenter's The Thing. He was Dr. Copper, He was the one that, he was trying to do the defibrillator, that he gets his arms bitten off, as Copper and John Carpenter's The Thing. So he plays as Cher's father. You got Lawrence Monahan. I think he was in Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. I think he was. He plays Rocky's friend. Dennis Berkeley, who plays Dozer. He's a biker, but he's big, but he's inside. He's deep inside. He's a big teddy bear. Doesn't speak a whole lot though. I remember he was in Suburban Commando. I forget what the line he said, but I think he said he was like, "Is this this is the '90s? I'll sue you" or something. I think he said that though. So it was something like that dialogue. But I remember he was in Suburban Commando. Andrew Robertson, who was the bad guy in the first Dirty Harry movie. He was also in the first Hellraiser. Child's Play 3. He was Botnick, the barber that cut Chucky slit his throat, like, presto, you're dead. Yeah, Andrew Robinson. And you have also a Kelly Jo Minter, who I remember also was in. Where she was in Friday the 13th Part 5, The Dream Child. He was she was Alice's friend in Part 5, The Dream Child, who survived. Right, first she didn't believe it was Freddy Krueger, but now when she jumped into that little puddle, then she believed her. Okay. She's in this role as a hooker, that Cher tries to hook up with Rocky. So you have a lot of pretty recognizable people in this. Now, like I said, the whole story, but with Eric Stoltz's character as the real life Rocky, like I said, he was born basically with a deformed face. At times he would get these bad headaches, saying, the doctors, Andrew Robertson as a doctor appears in like 2 scenes, I think. And he's like, you can go at basically at any time, any day now, because of these headaches, eventually will kill him. And Cher's mother, Rocky's mother, played by Cher, who's involved in this biker gang, which the biker gang are not overall violent. They're not. Usually, when it comes to biker games, they're like bad people, But in this case, this movie, this biker gang is pretty good. They're nice because they treat Rocky with respect. They're nice to him, despite they know what his condition is. They don't treat him any differently. They don't treat him with no disrespect. They like him, and and Sam Elliott would later come in that he used to be with Cher. He went away for a while, comes back, and then basically they kind of get eventually at the end they get back together. And so, but with Cher's character as the mom, Rusty, playing the real life Rusty, which is but what's funny though, looking up in the real life, that the real life Rusty had another son. Apparently, I guess, but it's not in this movie. But they left out another son in this movie, Rocky's brother. I guess apparently that the real life Rusty sold the rights of the story of her life, about her life, I guess to raise money because her son, other one, I guess named Joshua, had AIDS. So I guess that's why. But I'm like, okay, it's nice though, but they made this movie. They deliberately, I don't know if they wanted to put the other son in or not because of that though. But either way, if it's a real life story, you need to have to put the other son in there, right? I mean, or leaving out Rocky's other brother. I'm like, that's just, I always thought that's a bit strange, I mean, it was strange to me, like, recently, like, last year with the movie The Iron Claw, which I really enjoyed, with Zac Efron, the wrestling movie with Zac Efron. Like, that movie, I like that movie, really enjoyed it. Another one of the A24 movies I like, when it's not horror, but they left out, it's based on a real life story, but they left out the other brother as well, which I'm like, that's also weird. If you're based on yourself in real life, wouldn't it be best to include all the real life people that were in these biographic movies? Like in the Iron Claw, there was like 3 brothers, and they just left out the other one. Like it's the same thing here, Like the real life Rusty had 2 sons, but she left out the other son. I guess she didn't want to include it though. I have no idea. So I'm always finding those. You leave out other real life people that are based on, so. But anyway, I'm saying that, but she's a good, she's not Miss Halo though, because, she's flawed though, but she cares about her son. Like, when she's trying to get him into the school, she doesn't beat around the bush with the principal or the other teacher, It's basically, hey, he's he's good, he's smart, which he is smart. And so, and like when he gets to school, and they kind of give him crap though, because, how the way he looks, and of course when he first gets to school, these 2 guys, are saying mean things, and Dozer, who drove him to school right on his bike, goes right up to them, tries to scare them. Or another case where they say, hey, about his mask, hence the title, Mask, and I think Rocky pushes him and is like, you know what, here, I'll take my mask off if you take yours off. So, yeah, so he's well aware that he's different, but he says, he's like, well, yeah, I do look different, though, but otherwise I'm normal. Which is, yeah, because he despite his deformed face, he's basically a normal kid. He is smart. And like I say, with stuff with his mom, I like the little chemistry between Rocky and his mom. Like, she cares about her son, but she's with this bar game, she doesn't do much of the right things. She does certain things she's not supposed to, like drugs, or when she's coming home with a different man, or at one point where Rocky's trying to read her a poem that he wrote, right, which you hear at the end of the movie. He's trying to read this poem to her, but she's not listening. It's like, because he doesn't want her mom doing all these things, like basically get back with Sam Elliott, because those two he's basically finding the right man for her, but Sam Elliott is the right man for her, which by the end they get back together though, yes. Yeah, so he cares about his mom, but he's telling her, you need to do the right thing, find the right man, stop all this stuff, And yeah, like I said, she's not a saint by any means though, but she means well to care about her son. And then like the stuff like with him meeting with Laura Dern, like I said, she's blind, and her parents get a little offended because of his face, And then with Lawrence Monason, like his friend, his best friend, he was planning on going on a trip to Europe together, Like on his wall, he has a map of Europe, all these places he put thumbtacks on places where he wants to go, and also he collects baseball cards. He likes the Dodgers. He does all these stuff like what a normal kid does, right? He has this dream, like specifically his dream is to go to Europe with his friend, and a couple of times, the stuff like they like with Richard Dye-Hurst and the mother played by like Cher's parents. The father played by Richard Dye-Hurst and the mom's played by Estelle Getty. Like they care about the grandson as well, but they don't compare in too much though. Like so, some of these people they come like they appear for a couple of scenes and they don't not be seen again. But like I mentioned like before, like okay, I mentioned how he wants his mom to find the right man, right? And then Cher gets the idea to try to hook up with the right woman, so she gives him a hooker, which is played by Kelly Jo Minter from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, and by just he doesn't want that. And then they goes to a certain point where, with his friend Lawrence Monason, Ben, how they plan this trip though, he says he can't go because he has to help his dad out money wise. And so, but then the Rocky shoves him out the door basically, and you can see Lawrence Monason like the hurt look he has on his face, and basically Rocky tells him to get out of here, beat it. Now, I understand why he's upset. I fully understand why he's upset, right? But on the other hand, it does make Rocky look more like a jerk, because I mean, yeah, he really had this planned trip to go with him. Yes, I totally understand that though. But what do you want, Lawrence Monason, Ben? What do you want him to do? Not help his dad out earn money because not help his dad out? Just leave him as the way he is. So that kind of makes Rocky come up a bit of a jerk on that, But like I said, I understand why he's upset, on both ends, and you can see the hurt look on Lawrence Monson's face, and he leaves, and basically after that Rocky doesn't say he's sorry after that, because afterwards when he dies, nothing comes of it, basically no there's never no patching up, no resolution. That's the best word for me to describe it. There's no real resolution after that, That's me. That kind of sucks. Yeah, I know. In real life, some people don't just don't patch things up. I get that though. And if someone dies, they die never making amends to someone they hurt. So I know that's part of life though. But yeah, I understand that though. And then came basically to me the best part of the movie, because the night before, Rocky gets a really bad headache, so he goes to bed, and the next morning, Cher tries to wake him up. He's like, "Oh, you're so cold because you're sleeping without the covers on, right?" He tries to wake him up, and you realize now he has died. And it was an emotional yet very effective scene when Cher gets highly upset. She just breaks stuff in her kitchen, breaks a whole bunch of stuff in her kitchen, and Cher sold it very well. She really sold it well, just being the upset of her kid's death. She starts breaking shit, and it was a very effective scene to watch, And like I said, Cher, she sold it very well. she really pulled it off. Of being solely traumatizingly upset that her son died. And so, and then, by this time, Rocky, he took the thumbtacks off his map because the trip is now a bust. And then Cher takes the thumbtacks and puts them back on the map, and he says, "Now you can go anywhere you want, baby." And then some time has passed, and then Cher, Sam Elliott, and Dennis Berkeley, Dozer, they go to his grave. Dozer, he, being the kind-hearted biker as he is like, he even pulls the weeds off in front of his grave and puts the flowers there. And Sam Elliott, it was, like I said, he also does a really good job in the film as well. It's Sam Elliott, like I said, he never gives a bad performance. And then the film ends with Cher, looking at the sun, and hearing the narration of Rocky saying the poem that he wrote, right? How to go? It ends with the sun shining on my face. Hold on. I want to get the poem because it is like a very good quote poem, you could say. Yeah, okay. Here the poem. Yeah. These things are good. Ice cream and cake, a ride on a Harley, seeing monkeys in the trees, the rain on my tongue, and the sun shining on my face. These things are a drag. Dust in my hair, holes in my shoes, no money in my pocket, and the sun shining on my face. So it was a pretty good ending on that though, with the poem like Rocky said. And apparently, I guess, this here is a director's cut, because it has some other stuff like all new extended director cuts included, never before seen footage incorporated into the film, including 2 major sequences: Cher's live rendition of Little Egypt, Red's Harry Carey Jr.'s funeral, mask revealed, a conversation with director Peter Bogdanovich, and a commentary with the director. But the thing is, like I said, it's the music, the songs was originally gonna be with Bruce Springsteen, and I guess certain things happened. I guess they didn't go with it, and then they ended up with putting singer Bob Seger's songs in the movie originally. But here now in these newer DVDs, you can hear the Bruce Springsteen songs now, which I like. I like Bruce Springsteen, I do, but I just like to see here of the original. I guess you're probably going to find on old VHS tapes where you probably could hear the original Bob Singer songs in this movie. Well, I like Bruce Springsteen though, but I wish they could just incorporate, choose a version where you can incorporate both different singers or songs in the movie though. So if you want to hear the Bob Seger songs, you're probably going to find it on old VHS, I guess. But yeah, Mask, I still like the movie, I thought it was a pretty decent drama, like I said, how much of the real life stuff they put from, But overall, it was still a pretty good movie. Like I said, I thought the cast did a pretty good job, especially with Cher, Sam Elliott, Eric Stoltz as Rocky. He did a good job, The makeup on Eric Stoltz, making this deformed face he has, I thought was pretty good makeup effects. It did win an Oscar for best makeup effects, actually. Yeah, it did. Yes, yeah, it did win the Oscar for best makeup and hairstyling at the Oscars. So yeah, it did win for best makeup effects. And I think even Eric Stoltz and Cher were nominated for Golden Globes, I think. If so, yeah, which I would buy because especially at the end, with Cher when she has her outburst destroying her kitchen, I thought there was a very pretty good acting from Cher. And Sam Elliott, like I said, Sam Elliott always deserves more credit too, because he's always such a good actor too. I always love Sam Elliott. So, it's probably with like I said, how they were together, back then they used to have a thing, and by the end they're back together, And the whole thing, like I said, with Rocky, how, her mom was in this biker gang, but the biker gang always treated him well, never were disrespectful to him, especially with the character Dozer, who loved him. And it takes on the place, like I said, the real life stuff, he looks different though, but he's a normal kid, and he was a smart kid. He cares about his mom, but he doesn't like the choices that she did, coming home like a different man, doing drugs and stuff, But like I said, with the real life Rusty, like I said, she's flawed though, but she does care about her son. Just trying to get her into the beginning of the movie, like just get her getting him into the school, just with a straight attitude, And also, and it was nice to see Laura Dern, Richard Dykehurst, Andrew Robinson, Lawrence Monason. The cast was it was nice to see the supporting cast, and the Kelly Jo Minter, Dennis Berkley. So yeah, the supporting cast was overall very, very decently good. And the film was a success box office wise, critical wise. It has a 93% Rotten Tomatoes, critical praise. So yeah, Mask. I thought that also that the director Peter Bogdanovich did a good job with the film. Like I said, how much of this stuff we really was put in there, I have no idea, but I know the fact that they left out the other brother as well. I guess, like I said, with the real life Rusty wanted to raise money, sold the rights of the story of her life, to help with her son's AIDS, I guess. But like I said, it's just weird that if you have a kid, right, but you just leave it out of the story. Like I said, like with the Iron Claw, they left out another brother that was in there. It's always strange because, like I said, how much when it comes to stuff that are based on real life events or true stories, how much stuff they always put in that's actually true or not. I mean, some of the stuff like the Captain's film is pretty true, yes, but it's not 100% fully telling the truth, 100%. Every other one does not do real life biography movies. They don't do that. Not every movie is 100% truthful. But regardless, though, I still enjoy the film. Like I said, the three main cast members, they all did a really good job. Like I said, Cher, really effective, especially at the end. Always great to see Sam Elliott. Eric Stoltz as Rocky. He did a good job, especially with also pretty good makeup effects as well. Overall, yeah, it was. I know my mom is also a big fan of this movie, and which, yeah, I understand why, And, yeah. Mask, from 1985, is still a pretty good movie. It still is. So anyway, that's Mask. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next movie review, and we'll see you next time. Later.